Welcome, kindred spirits, to a place of positivity, passion, and purpose. Welcome to our channel, where today's focus is all about Bangladesh national cricket team. Let's get started. The Bangladesh men's national cricket team, commonly known as the Tigers, is the national cricket team of Bangladesh, administered by the Bangladesh Cricket Board (BCB). They are a full member of the International Cricket Council (ICC) with Test, One-Day International (ODI) and Twenty20 International T status. They became an associate member of the ICC in 1977 and competed in 6 ICC trophies but performed inconsistently until 1997, which marked the year of their first major victory, winning the 1997 ICC Trophy held in Malaysia. This set the way of becoming a test-playing nation, a journey which ended with success in 2000. They played their first test match in November 2000 against India with a 9-wicket loss in Dhaka, becoming the 10th test-playing nation. The Bangladesh cricket team has not won any ICC trophies till date. Bangladesh's first official foray into international cricket came in the 1979 ICC Trophy in England. On 31 March 1986, Bangladesh played their first ODI match against Pakistan in the Asia Cup. For a long time, football was the most popular sport in Bangladesh, but cricket gradually became very popular, particularly in urban areas, and by the late years, it had surpassed football. In 1997, Bangladesh won the ICC Trophy in Malaysia and thus qualified for its first Cricket World Cup to participate in England in 1999. There, they defeated Pakistan, causing much upset, and also Scotland. On 26 June 2000, Bangladesh was granted full ICC membership. Bangladesh holds the record for most consecutive losses in Tests 21, between 2001 and 2004, and ODIs 23, between 1999 and 2002. After becoming full member, they had to wait until 2004 for first ODI win since the 1999 World Cup, which was against Zimbabwe. Bangladesh's maiden test victory was against Zimbabwe in 2005, where securing a draw in the second match, Bangladesh won their first test series. In 2009, Bangladesh toured the West Indies for 2 tests and by winning both secured their first overseas test series victory. As of 8 December 2024, Bangladesh has played 150 tests, winning 22. Results have improved predominantly at home, with draws earned against Pakistan, India and South Africa, and wins against England, Sri Lanka, New Zealand and Australia. They played their 100th test against Sri Lanka in March 2017, which they won by 4 wickets. As of 12 December 2024, the team has won 160 of its 444 ODI matches. They played their 100th ODI against India in 2004, which they won, 200th ODI against West Indies in 2009, which they won, 300th ODI in the quarter-final of the 2015 ICC Cricket World Cup against India, which they lost, and 400th ODI against Zimbabwe, which they won. They won their 100th ODI match when Afghanistan toured Bangladesh in October 2016. Bangladesh have also played 182 ties, winning 71. They played their 100th T against Zimbabwe in July 2021, which they won. Results have improved with wins against Pakistan, India, Sri Lanka, Australia, New Zealand and West Indies. Bangladesh's major achievements include reaching the semi-finals in 2017 ICC Champions Trophy. That run included a famous comeback win over New Zealand, often considered one of the greatest wins in Bangladesh's cricketing history. The team reached the quarter-finals in 2015 ICC Cricket World Cup after beating England in Adelaide, still a landmark moment for the team and the fan base. Bangladesh were runners-up in 3 Asia Cups in 2012, where they lost by a narrow margin of 2 runs in Mirpur. In 2016, that version of the tournament held at home, and 2018 held in the UAE. They lost in the final of the 2018 ICC Trophy in the last over, the latest of a series of near-final losses for the national side. They won their first recognised multi-team trophy when lifted 2019 Ireland Tri-Nation Series. As of 1 May 2024, Bangladesh is ranked 9th in tests, 8th in ODIs and 9th in ties by the ICC. In this chapter, we'll be unraveling the enigma of 20th century and discovering its transformative power. Several East Pakistan-based sides played in Pakistani domestic cricket prior to Bangladesh's declaration of independence of Earth. East Pakistan cricket team fielded 3 players who later played ICC Trophy matches. In 1977, Bangladesh became an associate member of the International Cricket Council (ICC). Bangladesh was one of 15 teams to take part in the inaugural ICC Trophy. Held in 1979, it gave non-test playing countries the opportunity to qualify for that year's World Cup. Bangladesh, under the captaincy of Rakbul Hassan, won 2 matches and lost 2, but failed to progress beyond the first round. Victory in the Southeast Asian Cricket Conference tournament in February 1984 ensured Bangladesh qualified for the 1986 Asia Cup. On 31 March 1986, Bangladesh played their first one-day international against a full member of the ICC. Captained by Ghazi Ashraf, Bangladesh were dismissed for 94 runs and Pakistan reached their target for victory with 7 wickets in hand. They lost their second ODI, which was against Sri Lanka, finishing last in the 3-team tournament. Bangladesh qualified for the 1988 Asia Cup, this time hosting the tournament. It was the first time ODIs had been staged in the country. Although they lost all their matches, Bangladesh's fixtures were retrospectively awarded ODI. Floods in the preceding months meant the tournament was in doubt, but it went ahead as planned. A charity match raised $70,000 for the flood victims. Bangladesh added a black mark in 1986 ICC Trophy with only 2 wins. Bangladesh took part in the 1990 Australasia Cup, the Asia Cup in 1995, 1997, and several other triangular tournaments. Still, it was not until 1998 that they won their first ODI. Their 22-match losing streak since their first ODI was at the time a record. Bangladesh posted its first ODI win against Kenya, in India. Thanks largely to Mohammad Rafiq, who contributed a fiery 77 runs and took 3 wickets. He put on 137 for the first wicket with Arthur Ali Khan, whose own contribution was 47. In October 1998, Bangladesh hosted but did not participate in the first ICC Knockout Trophy ever held. The event later became the ICC Champions Trophy, a knockout ODI tournament featuring all the test-playing nations. Bangladesh took part in each of the 1979, 1982, 1986, 1990, and 1994 editions of the ICC Trophy, and won the trophy in 1997. In the process qualified for the 1999 World Cup. The then General Secretary of Bangladesh Cricket Board, Aminul Haq Moni, took the initiative to install AstroTurf in Abahani Cricket Ground and Bangabandhu National Stadium so that the local players had 2 full seasons to prepare on the type of pitch they would playing in ICC Trophy in 1997. Bangladesh also became a regular ICC member with the right to play ODIs and started hosting bilateral and triangular ODI tournaments. Earlier, in February, Dhaka hosted the 3rd and final SARC cricket tournament. Bangladesh played in its first World Cup in England in 1999 and recorded their first win in a World Cup match against Scotland. Later on, Bangladesh created an enormous upset by beating Pakistan by 62 runs in the group match at Northampton. Bangladesh made from its full 50 overs, and in reply, Pakistan could only manage 161 due to timely run-outs by wicket-keeper Khalid Mashed and some tight bowling by Khalid Mahmood, who took from 10 overs. Mahmood was judged the man of the match. Bangladesh did not qualify for the Super 6 round due to defeats in 3 of its 5 matches. However, the win over Pakistan, who finished runners-up to Australia, helped Bangladesh to gain Test playing status the following year. Bangladesh had sacked coach Gordon Greenidge, who had steered the team through the 1997 ICC Trophy and into the 1999 World Cup on the morning of the match. Former South Africa Test cricketer Eddie Barlow became Bangladesh's coach in 1999. In preparation for becoming a Test-playing country, Bangladesh established its own first-class competition although the matches were not given first-class status until the season. The lack of an established first-class structure in the country until shortly before Bangladesh played its debut Test has been cited as one of the reasons the side struggled to adapt to the longer format of the game. The West Indies toured Bangladesh in October, winning both matches in the ODI series. After suffering a stroke in April 2000, Barlow vacated the position of coach and Salwa Imran was handed the coaching job. In May and June 2000, Bangladesh hosted the Asia Cup. Bangladesh lost all three of their matches and playing against Pakistan, Bangladesh recorded the heaviest defeat in ODIs, a margin of 233 runs at the time. Bangladesh participated in the 2000 ICC Knockout Trophy in October. Their only match ended in defeat by England. As we enter this new phase, let's navigate the complexities of first years as a Test team and discover its practical applications. First years as a Test team. On 13 November 2000, Bangladesh played their inaugural Test match, hosting India in Dhaka. The first Test run in the history of Bangladesh cricket came from the bat of Mehrad Hossain, who also scored the first ODI 100 by an individual player for Bangladesh in 1999. Captained by Naima Rahman, Bangladesh lost by 9 wickets, although Wisden noted that they surpassed all expectations by matching their neighbours, and at times even enjoying the upper hand. Aminul Islam Bubble scored 145 in the first innings, becoming the third person to have scored a century in their team's first Test. Rahman took 6 wickets for 132 runs, the second best bowling figures in a country's maiden Test. In March 2001, former Australian Test cricketer Trevor Chappell was appointed coach. The following month, Bangladesh embarked on a tour of Zimbabwe to play 2 Tests and 3 ODIs. Zimbabwe, who at the time were ranked 9th out of the 10 Test teams, won all 5 matches. Bangladesh took part in the Asian Test Championship, the second and final time the championship was held and the first the team had been eligible to play in. They lost both their matches by an innings. Mohammad Ashraful made his debut in the series and became the youngest player to score a Test century in his first match. In November, Bangladesh hosted Zimbabwe for 2 Tests and 3 ODIs. The opening Test was curtailed by bad weather and ended in a draw. After losing their first 5 Tests, it was the first time Bangladesh had avoided defeat. Zimbabwe won all the remaining matches. After the Test series, wicket-keeper Khalid Mashed replaced Rahman as captain. The following month, Bangladesh toured New Zealand for 2 Test matches. Bangladesh's batsmen struggled in unfamiliar conditions and the team slumped to 2 innings defeats. In January 2002, Bangladesh hosted Pakistan for 2 Tests and 3 ODIs where Bangladesh lost all the matches. At this point, they had lost 10 of their first 11 Tests. Only South Africa had struggled as much in their introduction to Test cricket, also losing 10 of their first 11 matches. Chappell blamed Bangladesh's batsmen for the loss, saying they commit the same mistakes again and again, and need to learn to apply themselves to bat in sessions. In April, former Pakistan Test cricketer Mohsin Kamal replaced Chappell as coach. When Bangladesh toured Sri Lanka in July and August, they were on the receiving end of Sri Lanka's largest margin of victory in Test cricket, an innings and 196 runs. Bangladesh lost both Tests and all 3 ODIs on the tour, recording their 50th defeat in 53 ODIs. Repeated poor performances prompted people to question whether Bangladesh had been granted Test status too soon. 2 defeats against Australia and New Zealand in poor matches knocked Bangladesh out of the 2002 ICC Champions Trophy. In October, Bangladesh got whitewashed in both Test and ODI series against in South Africa. Wisden noted that time and again, became the mantra that would learn from the experience, that they could only improve by playing against the best, that there was genuine talent in the squad. But it wore thin. The final defeat set a record for most consecutive losses in ODI's 23, beating the previous record, which was also held by Bangladesh. When West Indies toured in November and December, Bangladesh lost both tests and 2 out of the 3 ODIs, and 1 ended in no result. Bangladesh hit several new lows on the 3rd day of the first test, their lowest innings total 87, their lowest match aggregate 226, and the biggest defeat in their 16 tests by an innings and 310 runs. South Africa hosted the 2003 World Cup in February and March. Bangladesh lost 5 of their 6 matches, 1 ended in no result, including fixtures against Canada, who hadn't played international cricket since the 1979 World Cup, and Kenya, who eventually made the semi-finals of the tournament. In the aftermath of Bangladesh's World Cup campaign, Habibul Bashar replaced Khalid Mashed as captain, and Kamal was sacked as coach, with Dav Watmore taking over the role. Watmore was not able to begin the job immediately, so Sawa Imran acted as interim coach during TVS Cup and South Africa's tour of Bangladesh in April and May. Bangladesh lost all 4 ODIs by large margins and 2 tests by innings. With the foundation laid, let's embark on a journey into under Dav Watmore. Under Dav Watmore, Bangladesh played 2 tests and 3 ODI matches on a mid-year tour of Australia in Earth. He lost every single match on that tour. In August 2003, Bangladesh toured Pakistan to play 3 tests and 5 ODIs matches. This was Bangladesh's second tour to Pakistan, with the first occurring when the teams played 1 test match. Both series ended in whitewash, with Pakistan winning the Test Series 3-0 and the ODI Series 5-0. In the first Test match of that series, Alok Kapil became the first Bangladesh player to take a hat-trick in Test cricket, dismissing Shabir Ahmed, Danish Canaria, and Umugal. However, in the 3rd Test match of that series, Bangladesh came very close to its first Test victory, when it lost to Pakistan by only 1 wicket. It was just the 10th time in Test history that a team had lost by a single wicket. In September-October 2003, England played 2 tests and 3 ODIs against Bangladesh. England won both the test matches and won all 3 ODIs by 7 wickets. Bangladesh's captain, Mahmood, was booed. Ahead of Bangladesh's tour of Zimbabwe in February and March the next year, he was dropped from the squad and batsman Habibul Bashar was granted the captaincy. At the time, Zimbabwe were without many of their senior players. Bangladesh lost the Test series and the ODI series. The second test was drawn after 3 days of no play due to heavy rains and brought an end to their run of 21 consecutive defeats dating back to November 2001, a world record in Test cricket. The solitary ODI victory was Bangladesh's first international win since defeating Pakistan in the 1999 World Cup. Bangladesh's next matches were against the West Indies in May and June. Bangladesh lost the ODI series and the Test series. By securing a hard-fought draw in the first match, Bangladesh managed to avoid defeat for just the 3rd time in 29 tests. Bangladesh participated in 2004 Asia Cup and 2004 ICC Champions Trophy, winning only 1 match against Hong Kong. In the following months, Bangladesh suffered heavy defeats in tests and in ODIs against touring New Zealand and India. However, in December, India toured Bangladesh in December 2004. In second ODI of the series, Bangladesh defeated India in its 100th ODI, this being only the 3rd time that it had won against a test-playing nation. In January 2005, Zimbabwe toured Bangladesh for 2 tests and 5 ODIs. The touring Zimbabwe side had suffered due to player disputes which in 2004 had led to the country's temporary suspension from Test cricket. Of Zimbabwe's 16-man squad, only their captain had played more than 9 tests. Bangladesh was the more experienced team. In the first match, Bangladesh secured their maiden victory in Test cricket. Bangladesh's batsmen secured a draw in the second test by batting out the final 5 sessions after coach Davwatma had opined that Zimbabwe will win, unless our batsmen do something special. In the match which helped secure a historic first series victory for Bangladesh, Enamul Haq broke his own bowling record for best figures in an innings for Bangladesh by taking 7 wickets for 95 runs, and secured the best figures in a match for Bangladesh, 12 wickets for 200 runs, and captain Habibul Bashar hit half-centuries in both innings. In the ODI series that followed, Zimbabwe won the opening 2 contests, and Bangladesh won the final 3 to take the ODI series. After their maiden test victory, Bangladesh embarked on its first tour of England in May and June 2005. The team faced unfamiliar conditions and the batsmen struggled against seam bowling. Bangladesh lost both matches in the test series by an innings. The second test was the 22nd time it had happened in 38 tests. Pundits Mike Arthurton and Richie Bennett criticised the team's performances and suggested Bangladesh was not yet suited to test cricket. A triangular ODI series with England and Australia followed. Bangladesh won just 1 match out of 6, but their solitary victory was against an Australian side that at the time were world champions in what Wisden described as the greatest upset in 251-day internationals. Mohammad Ashraful scored his first century in that match with a score of exactly 100, which was enough to take the team to victory, and then played a blistering knock of 94 off 53 balls against England the following match. Bangladesh's next fixture was in Sri Lanka in September for 2 tests and 3 ODIs. After the one-off victory against Australia in England, Bangladesh was a more confident team. However, Sri Lanka won all 5 matches by large margins. Captain Habibul Bashar lamented his side's defeat, describing it as the worst tour since I took over the captaincy. The home season of 2006 began with the series against Sri Lanka, which registered its first win against Sri Lanka ever in the second match of the ODI series. However, Bangladesh lost both ODIs and Test series and respectively. In April, Australia toured for a 2-match Test series and 3-match ODI series. Bangladesh came very close to beating Australia in a Test match, taking a first innings lead of 158 and eventually losing by only 3 wickets. However, Bangladesh lost the second test by an innings and 3 ODIs by huge margins. India hosted the 2006 ICC Champions Trophy in October and November. Bangladesh failed to progress beyond the group stages, losing 2 of their 3 matches. Their only victory came against Zimbabwe. In November, Zimbabwe toured Bangladesh for it and a 5-match ODI series. Bangladesh won their inaugural T match against Zimbabwe in front of the home crowd. Bangladesh subsequently went on to whitewash the same opponent in the 5-match ODI series. Bangladesh capped year 2006 with 2 more ODI victories over Scotland. That year, Shahriar Nafees became the first Bangladeshi to score over 1,000 runs, which included 3 centuries in a calendar year, while Mashraf Mortaza became the leading wicket-taker in the world in ODIs staged in 2006 with 49 wickets. Ahead of the World Cup, Bangladesh faced Zimbabwe in 4 ODIs, and Bermuda and Canada won each of those matches. Bangladesh lost a single ODI to Zimbabwe. Australia, Bangladesh, India and Pakistan were the only teams to win both of their warm-up games. On 17 March, in their first match of the 2007 World Cup, hosted by the West Indies, Bangladesh secured a 5-wicket win over India. The surprise result triggered late-night partying in Bangladesh despite government bans on public gatherings. In their remaining group matches, Bangladesh lost to Sri Lanka and defeated Bermuda, which was enough to secure qualification for the second round while India was knocked out. Bangladesh's only victory in the Super 8s was against South Africa, losing to everyone else including Ireland, a team mostly made up of amateur cricketers. In April 2007, After 4 years as coach, Nukul Mathavan chose not to extend his contract, but agreed to remain in charge until the end of May to allow the BCB to find and appoint his successor and also to guide the side through the 2 tests and 3 ODIs at home against India. After Bangladesh had helped knock India out of the tournament, the series was seen as an opportunity for India to exact revenge. India won the 3-match ODI series, one being washed out. Bangladesh had not played Test cricket since April 2006. The first test was shortened due to rain and drawn, but India won the second by their largest margin ever by an innings and 239 runs. In the aftermath, Habibul Bashar, who had previously resigned as ODI captain, was replaced as captain by 22-year-old Mohammad Ashraful in all forms of the game. Mashraf Mortaza was appointed vice-captain. Brace yourself for an in-depth analysis as we navigate through under Sean Williams 2007 and its far-reaching implications. Under Sean Williams 2007, ECB appointed their under-19 coach Sean Williams as Bangladesh's interim coach until they find what were his long-term successor. Mohammad Ashraful was appointed Test and ODI captain in June 2007. Ashraful's first series in charge was a tour of Sri Lanka in June and July. Bangladesh suffered heavy defeats in each of the 3 tests, losing by an inning on every occasion, and 3 ODIs. In the first innings of the second test, Bangladesh was bundled out for their lowest total 62 at that time. Before the World, Bangladesh played 2 ties in Kenya. Here, they enjoyed victory over Kenya, but lost to Pakistan. South Africa hosted the 2007 ICC World 20 in September. Bangladesh defeated the West Indies at the group stage to progress to the Super 8 stage of the tournament. However, it was the only match they won in the tournament, losing next 4 matches. During the Super 8 match against Bangladesh, Australian fast bowler Brett Lee took the first 20 international hat trick ever achieved. Now, let's redirect our focus towards under Jamie Siddons and discover its significance in our narrative. Under Jamie Siddons. In late October, BCB appointed Jamie Siddons, an Australian cricketer, as their head coach. At the end of 2007, Bangladesh toured New Zealand. They were soundly beaten in the one-dayers. Bangladesh started the new year with the test leg of the tour. These matches were also one-sided, where Bangladesh lost the series. In February 2008, South Africa clean-swept Bangladesh across formats. The tour included 2 tests and 3 ODIs. However, in the first test, Bangladesh secured a first innings lead of 22 runs after restricting South Africa for 170. Bangladesh then defeated non-test playing Ireland in an ODI series at home in the same month, ending a run of 14 losses. Pakistan hosted Bangladesh for 5 ODIs and a T in April. It was a miserable tour for Bangladesh where they lost all games. Bangladesh lost both first-round games against Pakistan and India at a triangular ODI tournament held in Bangladesh in June. At the 2008 Asia Cup held in Pakistan, Bangladesh won their first group stage game against associate UAE. Even though they lost to Sri Lanka in the next group stage match, Bangladesh reached the Super 4 stage before losing the next 3 games against India, Sri Lanka and Pakistan. They were later got whitewashed in the ODIs during their tour to Australia in August-September. In October, New Zealand toured Bangladesh for 3 ODIs and 2 tests. Shortly before the tour, 14 Bangladesh players left to play in the Indian Cricket League and were subsequently banned for 10 years. 6 of the players were centrally contracted, including former captain Habibul Bashar. With a less experienced team than usual and a poor record against New Zealand, Bangladesh was expected to lose heavily. After winning the opening ODI, their first ODI victory ever over New Zealand, Bangladesh went on to lose the series. New Zealand won the first test by 3 wickets in what their coach, John Bracewell, described as one of the great character wins. The second test ended up in a rain-curtailed draw, sealing the series victory for New Zealand. but in the process Shakib Al Hassan emerged as an all-rounder. Having previously been selected primarily as a batsman, he went on to take the best bowling figures in an innings for a Bangladesh player, 7 wickets for 36 runs, beating the record set by Enamul Haq 3 years earlier. In November, Bangladesh toured South Africa. They lost all their matches, including the only T match, 2 of the 3 ODIs, the third being washed out due to rain, and both tests by innings. In December, however, Bangladesh bounced back from the previous lacklustre performances by threatening to win the first test match against Sri Lanka at home by chasing down the highest 4th innings total of 513. Though they fell 107 runs short, their performances were praised. But in the second test match of this home series in January, Bangladesh succumbed to a 465 runs defeat, conceding the series to Sri Lanka. Then Zimbabwe joined the hosts and the Lankan team for a tri-series ODI tournament, which proved to be more evenly matched than was expected. In the first match, Zimbabwe defeated Bangladesh by an excellent performance, but then was defeated by Sri Lanka by a huge margin, leaving Bangladesh needing to win with the bonus point against the Lankans in the last group match to go through to the finals to join the Lankans. In a reduced match due to rain interruptions, Bangladesh recorded their second ODI win over Sri Lanka to reach the finals. However, at the finals, they were beaten by the Lankans, who claimed the series. Later in the same month, the 3-match ODI series against Zimbabwe at home was won by Bangladesh. At the 2009 ICC World 20 held in England, Bangladesh crashed out of the tournament at the group stage after losing both games against India and associate Ireland. The aftermath of the losses at the global event, the selectors appointed Mashraf Mortaza as the new captain of the team for the tour to the West Indies so that Ashraful could focus on his batting. The 2-test series was played amidst controversy when a pay dispute between the West Indian players and the West Indies Cricket Board led a number of West Indian players boycotting the series, which forced the West Indies to select a number of inexperienced players as replacements. Bangladesh went on to win both of the tests, winning the first test by 95 runs and the second by 4 wickets. In the process, they achieved their first overseas test series victory. In the ODI series which followed, Bangladesh secured their first ODI win against the West Indies at the 14th attempt. Bangladesh won the series, but lost the only 20 match. Bangladesh emerged victorious and in back-to-back 5-match ODI series against Zimbabwe away in August and home in October-November. In November, Shakib was named the Western Cricketers' Test Player of the Year. In January 2010, Bangladesh hosted a tri-series ODI tournament with India and Sri Lanka. They failed to win a match in 4 matches and went out of the tournament. That was followed by a 2-match test series against India at home, which Bangladesh lost. During full away tour in February 2010 against New Zealand, Bangladesh lost all matches, only T, 3 ODIs and only test. In February-March 2010, England visited Bangladesh to play 3 ODIs and 2 test matches. Bangladesh lost all their ODIs and tests in the series. In May, Bangladesh took part in the 2010 World 20. They lost all their matches at group stage against Pakistan and Australia and failed to progress to the Super 8 stage. In May and June, Bangladesh played 2 test matches against England away, losing both, although Tamim Iqbal scored 2 centuries in the series. Between the tests and ODIs against England, Bangladesh took part in the 2010 Asia Cup during June, but lost all their matches versus India, Sri Lanka and Pakistan. In the ODI series, England comfortably won the first match. However, in the second match at Bristol, Bangladesh beat England for the first time in international cricket. England were the only test-playing nation yet to be beaten by Bangladesh, bowling England out in the final over to win by 5 runs. However, England won the third ODI at Birmingham and sealed the series. Bangladesh extended this tour in Europe to play a 2-match ODI series against Ireland. The series was shared. The one-off ODI against Scotland was abandoned due to heavy rains. Later, Netherlands won the last one-off ODI of the tour. In October, New Zealand went to Bangladesh for 5 ODIs. Mortaza suffered an injury in the first match and Shakib took over as captain. Under his leadership, Bangladesh won the series. Second ODI was abandoned due to rain, securing their first series victory against a full-strength ICC full-member nation. Although unable to play against New Zealand due to injury, while the series was in progress, Tamim Iqbal was named the Wisden Cricketers Test Player of the Year. In December, Bangladesh hosted Zimbabwe for 5 ODIs. After losing the opening match, Bangladesh went on to win the next 3 complete matches, with 4th ODI called off due to rain, to beat Zimbabwe. In February and March 2011, Bangladesh co-hosted the World Cup with India and Sri Lanka. Bangladesh lost the tournament opener against India before the win against Ireland. The next match was won by West Indies after dismissing Bangladesh for 58 runs, the team's lowest score in ODIs and a record low for a full member at the World Cup. The West Indies and Bangladesh team buses were stoned as they left the ground, and so was Shakib's house. In the match against England, Bangladesh's score was at 1 point, but tail-ender 58-run partnership brought victory for the team. Bangladesh's win in this match was only their second against England in a total of 15 ODIs. Bangladesh later defeated the Netherlands, making their final match of the group stage a must-win contest. Against South Africa, Bangladesh succumbed to their second-largest defeat in ODIs and became the first full-member team to be bowled out for under 100 twice in World Cups, thereby failing to progress to the knockout stage of the tournament. Then Australia completed a sweep in ODIs against Bangladesh when they visited the country in April. Middle of the Australian visit, BCB confirmed that Siddons are likely to win a contract extension from the moment his team failed to meet lofty home expectations during the 2011 World Cup. Under his mentorship, Bangladesh won 2 tests in 19, 31 ODIs in 84. They did not win any ties in 8 during this period. First overseas Test Series victory, first Test match and series victories over West Indies, first ODI wins against New Zealand, West Indies and England, clean sweeps in ODIs against West Indies away and New Zealand home, reaching the final of a triangular tournament where all participants are ICC full members, consistent wins in bilateral ODI series against Zimbabwe were the highlights for Siddons as the Bangladesh head coach. During his 3.5-year tenure as coach, Siddons introduced a full coaching staff for the first time, including coaches for bowling, strength and conditioning, and fielding. Under Siddons, Bangladesh's reliance on spin bowlers continued, partly because pitches in the country encourage spin bowlers, and frequently only 2-seam bowlers were used in a match. Siddons was credited with helping the team improve mentally. Let's now zoom in on under Stuart Law and uncover the hidden gems that lie within. Under Stuart Law, a lengthy hunt for a head coach followed Siddons' exit, encountering the names of Vincent Barnes and Stuart Law as possible appointees. Law, who at the time was the interim head coach of Sri Lanka following Trevor Bayliss' departure, was named Bangladesh's new head coach starting from 1 July 2011. Bangladesh toured Zimbabwe in August 2011 for a one-off test and 5 ODIs. The test marked Zimbabwe's return to the longest format of the game, after a self-imposed withdrawal in January 2006 as the sport in the country was in a state of disarray. Bangladesh lost the match by 130 runs. Though they were expected to do well with the test and the ODIs, Bangladesh lost the subsequent one-day series. In the aftermath of the series, Captain Shakib Al Hassan and Vice-Captain Tamim Iqbal were sacked from their leadership roles, with a BCB representative citing their poor leadership. Later that month, wicket-keeper Mushfiqur Rahim was named captain, with all-rounder Mohammedullah as his deputy. Bangladesh's struggles at the international level have been epitomized by the ineffectiveness of their fast bowlers. Between January 2010 and August 2011, they took 37 wickets in 8 tests at an average of 67.67, the worst out of the 9 teams playing regular test cricket in this period. though Bangladesh won Rom's first match in charge, the only T against West Indies at home in October. The team lost the subsequent ODI series and the two-match test series. Pakistan toured in December, and during the first of three ODIs, Bangladesh were dismissed for their 13th score of less than 100 in the format, overtaking Zimbabwe's record of 12 times. Bangladesh got whitewashed comprehensively across formats, T, ODIs and tests. In March, Bangladesh hosted in the 2012 Asia Cup featuring India, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka. Bangladesh entered the tournament with just 2 wins from 29 Asia Cup matches. Victories against India and Sri Lanka saw Bangladesh face Pakistan in the final, only the second time the team have reached the final of a multinational competition. Though Pakistan won the final by 2 runs, Bangladesh had exceeded expectations. During the tournament, Tamim Iqbal became the first Bangladeshi player to score 4 consecutive 50s in ODIs. Shakib Al Hassan was named man of the series after contributing with both the bat and the ball, making 237 runs and taking 6 wickets respectively. The following month, Law announced he would be stepping down as coach in June when his contract was due to expire for personal reasons. Bangladesh had not won any tests in 5 under Law. Further, they only won 5 ODIs in 15 and 1 T in 2 during this period. Reaching the finals of Asia Cup 2012 was the pinnacle of Law's tenure as Bangladesh coach. Let's transition to under Richard Pybus 2012 and uncover its significance. Under Richard Pybus 2012. In May 2012, Bangladesh appointed England-born Richard Pybus as their new head coach for 2 years, replacing Stuart Law, who stepped down from the post in April. In July, Bangladesh toured Ireland and Netherlands. Bangladesh clean swept the 3-match T series, becoming number 4 in T rankings, surpassing Pakistan and Australia. In the same month, Bangladesh lost a T against Scotland and shed the 2-match T series against Netherlands by. Bangladesh crashed out of the 2012 ICC World 20 by losing to New Zealand and Pakistan in the first round. After only 4 months at the helm, Pybus notified the BCB of his unwillingness to continue due to issues with his contract and interference from administration. Under him, Bangladesh won 4 ties in 8. In the following section, we'll be immersing ourselves in the captivating world of under Shane Jurgensen. Under Shane Jurgensen, the team's bowling coach and Australian Shane Jurgensen was appointed as the interim Bangladesh coach for the series against West Indies at home in November-December 2012. The home side lost the 2 tests, but won the ODI series before losing the only T. In February 2013, BCB announced that Jurgensen will continue as Bangladesh's head coach for the rest of the year. Bangladesh toured Sri Lanka in March 2013 for a full series. In the first test at Gulay Mushfiqur Rahim scored the first double century for Bangladesh in Test cricket, and Mohammad Ashraful chipped in with a handy 190. They were able to draw the first test against Sri Lanka, the first time ever against the island nation. Sri Lanka won the second test by 7 wickets and the 2-match test series. The 3-match ODI series was shared since the second ODI being washed out. Bangladesh lost the only T2. Then they toured Zimbabwe from April-May. Bangladesh lost the first test by 335 runs, which marked Zimbabwe's biggest win. Later they won the second test by 173 runs to share the series with Zimbabwe. Bangladesh lost the ODI series before sharing the T series. Later in October-November 2013, New Zealand toured Bangladesh for a full series. Bangladesh achieved a new feat, sharing the 2-match test series on home soil against New Zealand, the first against the country. This was followed by series whitewash win for Bangladesh in ODIs, before losing the only T. Sri Lanka toured Bangladesh for full series from January-February 2014. Bangladesh slipped to their 4th heaviest defeat in their test history after losing the first test by an innings and 248 runs. The second test was a high-scoring draw and Bangladesh lost the series. Later they got whitewashed in the T and the ODI series. That was followed up by a series of defeats against Asian cricketing nations India, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Sri Lanka at the league stage of 2014 Asia Cup conducted on their home soil, and Bangladesh finished at the bottom of the table. Associate Afghanistan's win against Bangladesh was their first ODI victory against a test-playing nation. Bangladesh ended their 11-match winless run in 2014, defeating two associates, Afghanistan and Nepal, in consecutive ties at the 2014 ICC World 20 group stage. Their loss to another associate, Hong Kong, did not prevent them reaching the Super 10 stage. However, at the Super 10 stage, Bangladesh lost all their matches against West Indies, India, Pakistan and Australia. The coach resigned from his position less than a month after the World, where the team won just 2 out of 7 matches. Under Jorgensen, Bangladesh won 1 test in 10, 8 ODIs in 21 and 3 ties in 14. Highlights of his tenure were the test win after 4 years against Zimbabwe, shed 2 test series against New Zealand at home, ODI clean sweep against New Zealand at home, and securing 2 draws in tests against Sri Lanka away and home. With our curiosity piqued, let's embark on a dedicated exploration of Under Chandika Hathuranga and its fascinating intricacies. Under Chandika Hathuranga. The BCB appointed Chandika Hathuranga, a former Sri Lanka batsman, as Bangladesh's head coach for a 2-year period. The first series under the new coach was against India at home. Bangladesh lost the first and second ODI comprehensively, and the third was washed out and lost the series. In August 2014, Bangladesh toured West Indies for a full series. West Indies beat Bangladesh in the ODI series, extending Bangladesh's winless ODI run for 13 matches. In the second ODI, Bangladesh was bundled out for 70, which is the third lowest total for Bangladesh. Bangladesh lost the match by 177 runs. Only the T-match was abandoned. Further, West Indies whitewashed Bangladesh in the Test series, defeating Bangladesh by 10 wickets in the first Test and by 296 runs in the second Test respectively. Bangladesh finally emerged victorious during the Zimbabwe tour in Bangladesh, whitewashing the visitors during the Test series. Bangladesh claimed no. 9 ranking, with the series victory pushing Zimbabwe to no. 10. In the ODI series, Bangladesh whitewashed Zimbabwe. In this chapter, we'll be shedding light on 2015 rise in ODI and its role in shaping our understanding. At the turn of the new year, Bangladeshi all-rounder Shakib Al Hasan emerged as the #1 all-rounder in all formats of the game. This was the first time that any player ever achieved such a feat, after the ICC introduced ranking system. During the group stage of the 2015 Cricket World Cup, Bangladesh defeated Afghanistan in their first game, where Shakib Al Hasan became the first Bangladeshi cricketer to reach 4,000 ODI runs, and their next match against Australia was washed out. They lost their next game to Sri Lanka by 92 runs. Following that, they achieved their highest successful run chase in an ODI, when they chased down Scotland's 318. Bangladesh later qualified for the second quarterfinal in the 2015 World Cup by defeating England. At the second quarter-final, India comprehensively defeated Bangladesh by 109 runs, knocking them out of the 2015 World Cup. After a successful World Cup campaign, reaching the quarter-final for the first time, the whole team was given a grand reception at the airport on 22 March. In April-May 2015, Pakistan was in Bangladesh for a full series. Bangladesh won the ODI series, recording their first series victory over Pakistanis. The only T was also won by Bangladesh. However, Pakistan claimed the Test series victory by drawing the first Test and winning the second Test by 328 runs. A full-strength Indian team arrived in Bangladesh in June 2015 for a one-off Test and 3 ODIs, where the Indians were expected to win comfortably. During the Test, the Indian team was too strong for Bangladesh, where they were enforced to follow on. But the heavy rain interruptions denied a decisive result. Only 184.2 overs were played. However, excellent performances by the batsman and ODI debutant bowler Mustafizur Rahman had the tables turned over as Bangladesh convincingly won the first two ODIs and for the first time won a bilateral series against India by a margin of. During July 2015, South Africa visited Bangladesh for two ties, 3 ODIs and 2 tests. South Africa whitewashed Bangladesh in the T series and took the lead of ODI series, winning the first match. However, Bangladesh came back strongly and completely dominated South Africa in the following 2 matches, showing excellent performance in all 3 departments where none of the team in any match could reach 200 runs in an innings in the whole ODI series, to win the series by a margin of, which marked the first series win ever against South Africa. 2-match test series was shared after heavy monsoon rains curtailed both games played 221 and 88.1 overs respectively. Strong performances shown by Bangladesh in ODIs since the ICC Cricket World Cup 2015, winning ODI series against Pakistan, India and South Africa helped it jump from 9th to 7th in the ODI team rankings. Since they were ranked No. 7 in ODIs on 30 September 2015, which was the cut-off date, they have qualified for the 2017 ICC Champions Trophy, replacing West Indies. In November 2015, the Zimbabwean cricket team toured in Bangladesh. The tour consisted of 3 one-day internationals ODIs, 2 internationals ties. Bangladesh won the ODI series and shared the T series. Moving forward, we'll be taking a closer look at 2016 rise in T. In January 2016, Zimbabwe toured Bangladesh for another T series consisting of 4 games. Again, the series was shared. The golden run continued to Bangladesh when they became runner-up of 2016 Asia Cup, played on home soil. They lost the first match at group stage to India. Then they won against UAE and then Sri Lanka, reigning world champions and Asian champions at that time. They also beat Pakistan to reach the Asia Cup final for the second time. However, they were again comprehensively beaten by India in the final. However, Bangladesh did not have a significant success during the 2016 ICC World 20 held in India in April 2016. Wins against 2 associates Netherlands and Oman and the washed-out game against another associate Ireland at the group stage saw them reach the Super 10. In the group stage match against Oman, Tamim Iqbal became first Bangladeshi batsman to score a T century and at least a century in all formats. They returned home losing all 4 games at the Super 10 stage against full members Pakistan, Australia, India and New Zealand. In September 2016, Afghanistan toured Bangladesh for an ODI series. Bangladesh emerged victorious in another home ODI series by. This was followed by the England tour of Bangladesh, where Bangladesh lost the ODI leg by. But they secured a historic test win by 108 runs against England, their first win in 10 attempts, and sharing the 2-match test series, after losing the first test narrowly by 22 runs. Bangladesh toured New Zealand for a complete series in December 2016. Bangladesh started the tour with a whitewash defeat in ODI series, and the dawn of New Year 2017 saw a similar whitewash defeat in T series. Further, Bangladesh lost the test series. However, they broke the 123-years-old record for the highest first innings total in tests to lose during the first test versus New Zealand by scoring deck. They finished the tour losing all the games. Then Bangladesh toured India in February 2017 for the historical first test match between 2 countries on Indian soil. India won the game comprehensively by 208 runs, having declared in both innings. The next assignment for Bangladesh was another full away tour in Sri Lanka in April 2017. Bangladesh were comprehensively beaten by 259 runs in the first test. However, they were able to draw the test series by winning the second test by 4 wicket. That meant Bangladesh won their 100th test match, becoming one of the 4 teams to achieve that feat. Further, this was Bangladesh's first test match victory against Sri Lanka. Bangladesh led the ODI series after 2 games, since winning the first ODI by 90 runs and the second ODI being washed away by rain. However, Sri Lanka won the third ODI by 70 runs, levelling the ODI series. The T-Series was also shared. In May 2017, Bangladesh finished second at the 2017 Ireland Tri-Nation Series held in Ireland, winning 2 versus New Zealand and Ireland, losing 1 versus New Zealand and 1 washed out versus Ireland games. Bangladesh moved to 6th place in the ICC ODI rankings for the first time following its 5 wickets victory over 4th-ranked New Zealand. This was also the first time Bangladesh has been ranked ahead of 3 former world champions Sri Lanka, Pakistan, the West Indies and Zimbabwe. Bangladesh started the 2017 ICC Champions Trophy campaign with a defeat in the series opener against England. However, a washout against Australia and a famous win against New Zealand in Cardiff helped them to reach the semi-finals for the first time in Bangladesh cricket history. They were knocked out of the tournament after losing to India by 9 wickets in the semi-finals. Australia toured Bangladesh in August-September 2017 for a 2-match test series. Host Bangladesh registered their first test match win ever over Australia when they defeated the touring team by 20 runs during the first test. However, Bangladesh was unable to secure the series victory since Australia won the second test by 7 wickets and the series was shared. In September-October 2017, Bangladesh toured South Africa to play 2 tests, 3 ODIs and 2 ties where Bangladesh was whitewashed across formats. Team South Africa was too strong for Bangladesh and these games were extremely one-sided, creating several new team and personal records. Bangladesh lost 2 tests by 333 runs and by an innings and 254 runs respectively, the latter being the biggest test win ever for South Africa. South Africa won the first ODI by 10 wickets, which registered the highest target 279 chased down without losing a wicket in ODIs. In last 2 ODIs, Bangladesh lost comprehensively by 104 and by 200 runs. Later, Bangladesh also lost the 2 ties by 20 runs and 83 runs. During the second T, David Miller scored the fastest T century ever recorded. However, during the middle of this tour, Bangladesh was qualified for the 2019 Cricket World Cup since they were at No. 7 of ICC ODI rankings by 30 September 2017 cut-off date. On 9 November 2017, BCB President Nazmul Hasan announced that Hafiz Singh submitted resignation from the post of Bangladesh head coach during the team's tour of South Africa. During his tenure, Bangladesh won 6 tests in 21, 25 ODIs in 52 and 10 ties in 29, which is arguably the most successful era of Bangladesh cricket. Further, under his wings, Bangladesh reached quarter-finals of 2015 Cricket World Cup, qualified and later reached semi-finals of 2017 ICC Champions Trophy, qualified for 2019 Cricket World Cup, became runner-up of 2016 Asia Cup, defeated India, Pakistan and South Africa in home bilateral series, climbed up to No. 6 of ODI rankings, registered their first test wins against England, Sri Lanka and Australia. He was instrumental in Bangladesh beginning to actively picking more pace bowlers in their attack. Shakib Al Hasan had replaced Mushfiqur Rahim as Bangladesh's test captain, starting with the Sri Lanka's tour in January 2018. Mohammedullah took over the vice-captaincy from Tamim Iqbal while the BCB was set to announce a new coach. Let's now turn our attention to under Richard Halsall 2018 and examine its role within the larger context. Under Richard Halsall 2018, BCB chairman announced that their assistant coach Richard Halsall will be in charge of coaching the side ahead of the Tri-Nation ODI series held in January 2018 at home. Convincing wins against low-ranked opponents, Sri Lanka and Zimbabwe, in the first 3 group games saw Bangladesh reach the finals. Bangladesh recorded their biggest win in ODI cricket, won by 163 runs against Sri Lanka during the process. However, Bangladesh were bowled out for 82, which was their ninth lowest ODI total, and lost by 10 wickets in the last group game against Sri Lanka. They met Sri Lanka in the finals and lost the match by 79 runs, extending their winless run in tournament finals. The first test against Sri Lanka was a high-scoring draw. Later, Bangladesh lost the second test by 215 runs inside 3 days, conceding the test series. Bangladesh also lost the T-Series. Prepare yourself for an eye-opening discussion on under Courtney Walsh 2018 in the upcoming portion of this video. Under Courtney Walsh 2018. Courtney Walsh acted as the interim coach for 2018 ICC Trophy, a triangular T-Series held in Sri Lanka in March. Bangladesh lost the tournament final against India after reaching their defeating Sri Lanka twice in group matches. On 1 May 2018, Bangladesh broke into the top 8 of the Test rankings for the first time, as a result of the ICC's annual update to the rankings. Bangladesh got whitewashed in a 3-match T-Series against Afghanistan in India, losing their matches by 45 runs, by 6 wickets and by 1 run respectively. This recorded Bangladesh's first T-match loss ever and their first T-Series loss against Afghans as well. Now, we shift our focus to under Steve Rhodes, a topic that deserves our attention. Under Steve Rhodes. BCB appointed former England wicketkeeper Steve Rhodes the Bangladesh head coach in early March ahead of West Indies tour. Bangladesh hit an all-time low when they were dismissed for 43, their lowest score in tests during the first test against West Indies at North Sound, and eventually lost the test by an innings and 219 runs. Later, Bangladesh lost the second test by 166 runs and lost the series. Later, they performed well in limited overs formats and eventually ended up the tour by winning the 3-match ODI and T-Series by margin each. Bangladesh started their Asia Cup 2018 campaign with a win over Sri Lanka by 137 runs, which was their biggest win by runs in ODIs away from home. Even though they faced a heavy loss in their next match at group stage against Afghanistan, lost by 136 runs, Bangladesh's biggest loss by runs in ODIs against Afghanistan, they have progressed to the Super 4 stage. Bangladesh lost to India by 7 wickets, narrowly won against Afghanistan by 3 runs and defeated Pakistan by 37 runs at the Super 4 stage to reach the final of the Asia Cup. At the final, they lost to India by 3 wickets, extending their winless record in tournament finals. In October-November, Bangladesh hosted a 3-match ODI and 2-match Test series against Zimbabwe. Bangladesh won the ODI series while they drew the Test series, losing the first test of the series at Sylhet, which was the inaugural test of the venue. West Indies toured Bangladesh for a full series in November-December. Bangladesh won the 2-match Test series by defeating West Indies in the second test by an innings and 184 runs. Bangladesh recorded their first innings victory in Test cricket. Bangladesh also won the 3-match ODI series by margin, but lost the T-Series by margin. Bangladesh toured New Zealand in February-March 2019. Bangladesh got whitewashed in the 3-match ODI series. Bangladesh lost the first test at Hamilton by an innings and 52 runs. Later, they have lost the second test at Wellington by an innings and 12 runs even after the first 2 days' play were abandoned due to rain. The third test was cancelled following the Christchurch mosque shootings, which the team narrowly escaped. Bangladesh won their first ever multi-team ODI tournament final at Dublin on 17 May 2019, defeating West Indies by 5 wickets still method at the 2019 Ireland Tri-Nation Series. Bangladesh reached the finals, defeating West Indies twice and Ireland once during league phase, and the other league match against Ireland was washed out due to rain. Even though they entered the 2019 Cricket World Cup with high expectations, Bangladesh finished 8th at the group stage and was unable to reach the semi-finals, after winning only 3 of their 9 matches. In July 2019, Rhodes' contract with the BCB was terminated, following the team's 8th place finish in the tournament. Now, let's shift our perspective and explore Undercoloured Mahmood 2019 through a fresh lens, unlocking new perspectives. Undercoloured Mahmood 2019. Khalid Mahmood, who played for Bangladesh in the 1999 Cricket World Cup, was subsequently appointed as interim coach after Steve Rahodis's contract being terminated. His first assignment in charge was Bangladesh's three-match ODI tour of Sri Lanka from 26 to 31 July 2019, which Bangladesh received a whitewash, losing the series. Welcome to the next segment, where we explore under Russell Domingo and its significance in our journey. Under Russell Domingo. BCB appointed Russell Domingo as the head coach for the national team for a 2-year contract on 17 August 2019. In his first assignment as coach, Bangladesh lost to Afghanistan in one-off test match at Chittagong in September 2019. But in the tri-series, comprising Afghanistan and Zimbabwe, Bangladesh reached to final, winning 3 of their 4 group matches. But the final match with Afghanistan was washed away and 2 teams shared the trophy. Bangladesh then toured India in October-November to play 3 ties and 2 test matches. Bangladesh started their World Test Championship campaign with this test series. Just before few days of the tour, Bangladesh's regular test and T captain Shakib Al Hassan was banned for 2 years by ICC after accepting 3 charges under ICC Anti-Corruption Code. Subsequently, Mamun Al Haq was given the charge of test captaincy and Mohammedullah as T captain. Bangladesh won the first match of the tour, the first T at Delhi, by 7 wickets and lost the remaining 2 matches by 8 wickets and 30 runs respectively, losing the series. Bangladesh lost both test matches by an innings margin, as their batsmen failed to capitalise, whereas the second test was the first ever day-night test match played by both teams. In January and February 2020, Bangladesh toured Pakistan to play 1 test match and 3 Twenty20 International T matches. Pakistan won the T series with the 3rd match abandoned due to rain. The test match was played as part of the inaugural ICC World Test Championship. Bangladesh lost the test by an innings and 44 runs. In February 2020, Zimbabwe toured Bangladesh to play 1 test, 3 ODI and 2 T matches. Bangladesh won the one-off test match by an innings and 106 runs, which was Bangladesh's first test win since Domingo took charge as the head coach of the team, as well as it was their only second test match win by an innings margin. Ahead of the tour, the BCB announced that it would be Mashraf Mortaz's last series as captain of the ODI team. Prior to the 3rd ODI, Mortaza confirmed that he would be stepping down as Bangladesh's ODI captain after the series. Bangladesh won the ODI series, with Mortaza recording his 50th win in an ODI match as captain, with victory in the 3rd match. In an attempt to mitigate the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, the BCB restricted ticket sales for the first T match to 1 per person. Bangladesh won the T series to win all 6 international fixtures against Zimbabwe in the series. It was the first time that Bangladesh had whitewashed a team in a single series across all 3 formats of international cricket. In January 2021, Bangladesh played their first international series after the COVID-19 pandemic against West Indies at home. The ODI matches were part of the inaugural ICC Cricket World Cup Super League. Bangladesh won the ODI series by. The 2 test matches was played as part of the inaugural ICC World Test Championship. West Indies won the first test by 3 wickets, chasing 395, which was the highest successful run chase in Asia and overall 5th highest run chase in Test cricket. They also went on to win the second test by 17 runs, thus whitewashed Bangladesh in test at home since. In March 2021, Bangladesh toured New Zealand to play 3-match ODI series and a 3-match T series. They lost both the ODI series and T series by. The ODI matches were part of the inaugural ICC Cricket World Cup Super League. In April 2021, Bangladesh toured Sri Lanka for a 2-match test series. The test matches were played as part of the inaugural ICC World Test Championship. The first test was a high-scoring draw which helped Bangladesh register points in the ICC World Test Championship League table. But Bangladesh lost the second test by 209 runs, losing the test series. Sri Lanka toured Bangladesh in May 2021 for a 3-match ODI series. These ODI matches were played as part of the inaugural ICC Cricket World Cup Super League. Bangladesh won the first ODI by 33 runs and the second ODI by 103 runs, eventually winning their maiden ODI series against Sri Lanka. However, Bangladesh lost the third ODI by 97 runs. In July 2021, Bangladesh toured Zimbabwe to play 1 Test, 3 ODI and 5 T matches. Bangladesh clinched huge 220 runs win over Zimbabwe in the one-off Test match, with Mehdi Hasan picking up a 5-wicket and 4-wicket haul in the first and second innings respectively. This was Bangladesh's first win in the year of 2021. The match also saw 3 centurions, Mohammedullah, Shabman Islam and Nijmal Hussain Shunto, with Mohammedullah top scoring with an unbeaten 150 runs. During the one-off Test match, Mohammedullah announced his retirement from Test cricket. Bangladesh also won the ODI series by margin, first time they whitewashed the opponent in away series since 2009. In the first ODI, they defeated Zimbabwe by 155 runs, while Shakib Al-Hassan became the leading wicket-taker for Bangladesh in ODIs, taking his 270th dismissal. They won the second and third ODI by 3 and 5 wickets respectively. In the 3-match T series, the first T was the 120 International match played by Bangladesh, which they went on to win by 8 wickets, becoming the only third team after Australia and Pakistan to win their 100th match in all 3 formats. Though Bangladesh lost the second match, but winning the third T, they swept the series by margin. This is the first instance of Bangladesh winning all 3 series of a tour, having won the one-off Test and then 3-match ODI series by and 3-match T series by margin. In this segment, we'll be unraveling the complexities of T-Series wins against Australia and New Zealand at home and exploring its multifaceted nature. In August 2021, Australia toured Bangladesh for a 5-match T session. The first T, Bangladesh beat Australia for the first time in that format by 23 runs. Bangladesh went on to beat Australia in the next 2 matches by 5 wickets and 10 runs respectively, taking an unassailable lead. This was first time Bangladesh beating Australia in consecutive matches in any format. However, Bangladesh lost the 4th T by 3 wickets. In the final T, Australia was restricted to 62 runs in their innings, which is the lowest score by any team against Bangladesh in ties and lowest total in for Australia in ties. Bangladesh won the match Bangladesh by 60 runs. Eventually, Bangladesh won the series by margin. In September 2021, Bangladesh hosted New Zealand for a 5-match T series. Bangladesh won the first T by 7 wickets after restricting New Zealand for 60 runs, which was the lowest total by any team against Bangladesh. This is Bangladesh's first ever T victory over New Zealand. Bangladesh won the second match by 4 runs, but lost the third T by 52 runs. Bangladesh completed their first ever T series win against New Zealand by winning the 4th match by 6 wickets. Later they lost the 5th and final game of the series by 27 runs. Eventually, Bangladesh won the series. Brace yourself for a captivating discussion on disappointing 2021 World Cup campaign as we explore its nuances and implications. Ahead of ICC World Cup 2021, Bangladesh announced their squad on 9 September 2021. Rubal Hussain and Aminul Islam were named as travelling reserves. However, on 10 October 2021, Aminul Islam withdrew himself from the squad and returned home. Bangladesh played 2 warm-up matches before the first round, one against Sri Lanka which they lost by 4 wickets and another against Ireland which they lost by 33 runs. Bangladesh started off their World Cup campaign with a loss where Scotland defeated Bangladesh by 6 runs. and so Bangladesh is yet to win a team match against associate Scotland. Later they won against other two associates Oman and Papua New Guinea in their qualifying group and qualified for the Super 12 stage of the tournament. However, Bangladesh were unable to register a single win as they lost all 5 matches in Super 12 stage against any of the full member nations: Sri Lanka by 5 wickets, England by 8 wickets, West Indies by 3 runs, South Africa by 6 wickets, and Australia by 8 wickets, and were knocked out of the tournament even before they played their last group match. In their last 2 matches they were unable to cross 85 runs. As we venture forward, let's take a closer look at home series losses against Pakistan and its impact on our understanding. Pakistan toured Bangladesh in November and December 2021 to play 2 Test and Twenty20 International team matches. The Test series was part of the ICC World Test Championship. Bangladesh received a 0-3 whitewash from Pakistan in T series. Bangladesh won all 3 tosses and elected to bat first. However, they were unable to post competitive totals in any of the matches, and thus Pakistan comprehensively chased the targets, winning the games by 4 wickets, 8 wickets, and 5 wickets respectively. Bangladesh then lost both Test matches that were played at Chattogram by 8 wickets and an innings and 8 runs respectively. Bangladesh's first innings total, 87, is the joint lowest in Bangladeshi Test cricket. Moving ahead, let's uncover the hidden gems within Test series in New Zealand and discover their significance. Bangladesh toured New Zealand in January 2022 to play 2 Test matches. The Test series was a part of the ICC World Test Championship. Bangladesh won the first Test by 8 wickets, played at Bay Oval, Mount Maunganui. It was Bangladesh's first win in Test cricket against New Zealand, and their first win in international cricket against New Zealand in New Zealand. However, New Zealand went on to win the second Test inside 3 days, beating Bangladesh by an innings and 117 runs to draw the series. Let's now zoom in on home series against Afghanistan and uncover the hidden gems that lie within. In February-March 2022, Afghanistan toured Bangladesh to play 3 ODIs and 2 ties to play 3 one-day international ODI and Twenty20 International team matches. The ODI series formed part of the inaugural ICC Cricket World Cup Super League. In the first ODI, in reply to Afghanistan's 215, Bangladesh were reduced to in the 12th over of their run chase. However, Afif Hussain and Mehdi Hassan then made an unbeaten 174-run partnership, with Bangladesh reaching to win the match by 4 wickets. The 174-run stand between Afif Hussain and Mehdi Hassan was the highest 7th wicket partnership for Bangladesh in an ODI match, and the second highest 7th wicket partnership in ODI cricket. In the second ODI, Liton Das and Mushfiq Rahim set a new 3rd wicket partnership record for Bangladesh, with 202 runs. Bangladesh went on to win the match by 88 runs, winning the series with a match to play. Afghanistan won the 3rd ODI by 7 wickets. Eventually, Bangladesh won the ODI series. In the 2-match T series, Bangladesh won the first T by a comprehensive margin of 61 runs as Afghanistan were bowled out at 94 while chasing 156. In the second T, Bangladesh were restricted to in 20 overs and Afghanistan chased down the target having 8 wickets in hands. The T series ended in a draw. In the next portion, we'll be immersing ourselves in the realm of away series in South Africa and examining its broader implications. In March 2022, Bangladesh toured South Africa to play 2 Tests and 3 one-day international ODI matches. Bangladesh won the first ODI match by 38 runs, recording their first ever win against the hosts in all formats in South Africa. They lost the second ODI by 7 wickets. In the 3rd ODI, South Africa were bowled out on 154, courtesy of Taskin Ahmed's 5-wicket haul. Bangladesh chased down the target within 26.3 overs and won the match by a comprehensive margin of 9 wickets. As a result, Bangladesh won the series, giving them their first ODI series win in South Africa. South Africa won the first Test match by 220 runs, while Bangladesh, being bowled out on 53 in the fourth innings of the match, recorded their second lowest total in Test cricket. South Africa won the second Test match by 332 runs, winning the series. In this section, we'll be peeling back the layers of home series versus Sri Lanka to reveal its true essence. Sri Lanka toured Bangladesh in May 2022 to play 2 Test matches. The Test series formed part of the ICC World Test Championship. The first Test ended in a draw, with Sri Lanka winning the second by 10 wickets to win the 2-match series. Following the conclusion of the tour, Mominul Haq resigned as the captain of Bangladesh's Test team. Bangladesh toured the West Indies in June and July 2022 to play 2 Tests, 3 ODIs and 3 T20 matches. The Test matches formed part of the ICC World Test Championship. Shakib Al Hassan was named as Bangladesh's new Test captain, with Liton Das being appointed as his deputy. West Indies won the first Test by 7 wickets early on the 4th day, after Bangladesh were bowled out for just 103 runs in their first innings. The West Indies won the second Test by 10 wickets to win the series. The defeat in the second Test was Bangladesh's 100th loss in Test cricket. The first tee was delayed by nearly 2 hours due to a wet outfield. After several rain interruptions, only 13 overs of play was possible, with the match ending in a no result. The following day, the second tee was played at the same venue, with the West Indies winning by 35 runs. The West Indies won the third and final tee match by 5 wickets to win the series. Bangladesh won the first ODI match by 6 wickets to record their first win of the tour. Bangladesh won the second match by 9 wickets to win the series with a match to play. Bangladesh won the third ODI match by 4 wickets to win the series. Shortly after winning the series, Bangladesh's ODI captain Tamim Iqbal announced his retirement from T cricket. Let's now venture into the realm of 2022 Asian Games and 2023 WC and explore the fascinating intricacies it holds. Bangladesh participated in the 2022 Asian Games in 2023 in China. On 20 October 2023, Bangladesh played against Pakistan in the third place decided in Asian Games, which they won by 6 wickets in Hangzhou in DLS method to win bronze medal. On the same day, Bangladesh played against Afghanistan in the 2023 ICC Cricket World Cup in Dharmshala, which they won by 7 wickets. As a result of these, they became only the second after Pakistan team in history to play 2 different international matches with different X's on the same day in different venues and first team to win both matches. As we venture forward, let's examine home series against New Zealand in 2023 in detail and gain a deeper appreciation for its significance. A tour of New Zealand cricket team in Bangladesh in for 3 ODIs and 2 Test matches. The first ODI was abandoned due to rain, while Bangladesh lost the second and third ODIs by 86 runs and 7 wickets, respectively. In the first Test match, Bangladesh achieved a historic victory over New Zealand by 150 runs. Mominul Hassan Joy scored a classy 86 in the first innings, while Najmul Hussain Shanto made a splendid 100 in the second innings. Additionally, Tajul Islam took 10 wickets in the match, earning him the man of the match title. This win marked Bangladesh's first ever victory over New Zealand in a Test match held in Bangladesh. However, in the second Test, Bangladesh lost by 4 wickets. In the following section, we'll be immersing ourselves in the captivating world of governing body. The Bangladesh Cricket Board (BCB) is the governing body for the Bangladeshi cricket team and the sport in the country. The BCB is responsible for maintaining grounds and promoting the sport. It was founded in 1972 as the Bangladesh Cricket Control Board. Its first constitution was drafted in 1976. The board changed its name, dropping control from its title, in January 2007. The president of the BCB is appointed by the government of Bangladesh. The board also controls the team's sponsorship. Since 2003, telecommunications company Grameenphone has sponsored the men and women's national teams. Between 2007 and 2011, they invested in developing sport in the country. In 2006, the board established an academy to encourage the development of young and inexperienced players. The board issues central contracts to the national players and issuing match fees. In 2005, players were given about $1,000 for each test they played and $500 per ODI. Let's now zoom in on international grounds and uncover the hidden gems that lie within. Venues: city capacity. First use tests Odis Tyres active venues Sheikh Osman Ali Stadium Fatullah 25,000 2006 to 10 for Sheikh Abednego Stadium Kulna 15,000 2006 345 Shah-e Bangla National Cricket Stadium Dhaka 26,000 2006 20 to 113 57 Ziva Ahmed Chowdhury Stadium Chittagong 22,000 2006 21 20 to 20 Sylhet International Cricket Stadium Sylhet 18,500 2014 348 Former venues Bangabandh National Stadium Dhaka 36,000 1955 1758 0 M. A. Aziz Stadium Chittagong 30,000 1988 810 0 Shahid Chandra Stadium Bogra 18,000 2006 150. Updated 5 January 2022. As we progress through this video, let's shift our attention towards fan following and uncover its hidden depths. Before Bangladesh had even secured test status, cricket fans in the country took the game seriously. When the team lost an ODI against Kenya in March 1999, several hundred fans protested outside the offices of the Bangladesh Cricket Board (BCB). On learning of Bangladesh's promotion to test status, thousands of people celebrated on the streets. Then Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina remarked that "I can't express my joy in words at this happiest hour of the nation." At the time, cricket was the second most popular sport in the country behind football. When Bangladesh began its first test match on 10 November 2000 at Bangabandh National Stadium in Dhaka, the stadium was nearly full on the first day as around 40,000 people watched the team take on India. As the match partly overlapped with the festival of Shab-e-Barat, numbers attending declined as the match progressed. In 2011, Bangladeshi politician Saber Hussain Chowdhury opined that in Bangladesh cricket is not simply a game, it is a symbol of national unity. And in the words of A.H.M. Mostofa Kemal, president of the BCB in 2011, people of Bangladesh take cricket religiously. The people of Bangladesh are referred as the most passionate cricket fans among the cricket world. When Bangladesh are victorious, the fans sometimes take to the streets in celebration. When Bangladesh defeated India in the 2007 World Cup, thousands of people celebrated into the night on the streets of Dhaka despite there being a ban on public gatherings at the time. Although fans are jubilant in victory, they can also be vocal in defeat. When Bangladesh lost to England in an ODI in November 2003, the then-captain Khalid Mahmood was booed off the field. During the 2011 World Cup, Bangladesh succumbed to a record defeat against West Indies, registering the team's lowest score in ODIs. Bangladeshi fans booed and stoned the buses of both teams, Bangladesh's intentionally, West Indies mistakenly, as was Shakib Al Hassan's house. Now, let's shift our perspective and explore team colours and sponsorship through a fresh lens, unlocking new perspectives. In Test cricket, Bangladesh wears cricket whites, with the BCB logo on the left chest and the sponsor's logo on the right chest. Fielders wear a dark green cap or a white wide-brim sun hat. The helmets are also dark green. In limited overs cricket, Bangladesh wears a green uniform with red being the secondary colour and the BCB logo on chest and the sponsor's logo on the centre and BANGLADESH written underneath in white letters, with the fielders wearing a green baseball cap with red accents or a green wide-brimmed hat. During ICC tournaments, the sponsor's logo is placed on the left sleeve. In the 1999 Cricket World Cup, Bangladesh wore an olive-green uniform with yellow accents and a horizontal stripe with tiger stripe motif on the chest. With the foundation laid, let's embark on a journey into current squad. Bangladesh Cricket Board released the list of their 2024 central contracts on 13 February 2024. This is a list of every active player who is contracted to Bangladesh Cricket Board, has played for Bangladesh since April 2023 or was named in the recent Test, ODI or T squads. Uncapped players are listed in italics. Last updated on October, a contract type forms. This refers to the forms they've played for Bangladesh in the past year, not over their whole Bangladesh career. No. Shirt number. With our curiosity piqued, let's embark on a dedicated exploration of ICC Trophy Cricket World Cup qualifier and its fascinating intricacies. Known as the ICC Trophy from 1979 to 2005. As we move forward, let's uncover the untold stories and fascinating intricacies of Asian Games. All matches in the 2010 and 2014 seasons were counted as since the announcement of T20 matches between all members having international status from 1 January 2019, all matches from the 2022 season onward are granted as ties. Get ready for an exciting exploration as we unravel the mysteries of ICC Trophy. ICC Trophy records year 1996-1998 total. Brace yourself for an in-depth analysis as we navigate through ICC and its far-reaching implications. Asia Cup. Runners-up 3, 2012, 2016, 2018. Without further ado, let's move on to the topic of others. Asian Games. Gold medal 1, 2010. Bronze medal 2, 2014, 2022 South Asian Games. Gold medal 2, 2010, 2019. In this part of the video, we'll be delving deeper into records and analyzing its key components. Players listed in bold are still playing. International match summary. Bangladesh. Prepare yourself for an eye-opening discussion on test matches in the upcoming portion of this video. Highest team total, 638 v Sri Lanka, March 2013 at Dhaka. Lowest team total, 43 v West Indies, July 2018 at North Sound. Highest individual score, 219, Mushfiq Rahim v Zimbabwe, 12 November 2018 at Dhaka. Most individual runs in a match, 281, Mamunul Haq 176 and 105 v Sri Lanka, 2018 at Chittagong. Best individual bowling figures in an innings, Tajul Islam v Zimbabwe, October 2014 at Dhaka. Best individual bowling figures in a match, Mehdi Hassan Mirrors and v West Indies, 30 November to December 2018 at Dhaka. Most test runs for Bangladesh. Player runs average career span. Mushfiq Rahim 6,737.77, Tamim Iqbal 5,134, 38.89, Shakib Al Hassan 4,609, 37.77, Mamunul Haq 4,351, 37.83, Habibul Bashar 3,026, 30.87. Most test wickets for Bangladesh. Player wickets average career span. Shakib Al Hassan 246, 31.72, Tajul Islam 209, 31.95, Mehdi Hassan Mirrors 185, 33.54, Mohammad Rafiq 140.76, Mashraf Mortaza 78, 41.52. Test record versus other nations. As we progress, let's shine a spotlight on one-day internationals and examine its intricate interplay within our topic. Highest team total, v Ireland, 20 March 2023 at Sylhet. Lowest team total, 58 v West Indies, 4 March 2011 at Dhaka and v India, 17 June 2014 at Dhaka. Highest individual score, 176, Leighton Das v Zimbabwe, 6 March 2020 at Sylhet. Best individual bowling figures, Mashraf Mortaza v Kenya, 15 August 2006 at Nairobi. Gimpana and Rubal Hussain v New Zealand, 29 October 2013 at Dhaka. Most ODI runs for Bangladesh. Player runs average career span Tamim Iqbal 8,357 36.65 Mushfiq Rahim 7,793 36.75 Shakib Al-Hassan 7,570 37.29 Mohammadullah 5,685 36.67 Mohammed Ashraful 3,468 22.37. Most ODI wickets for Bangladesh. Player wickets average career span Shakib Al-Hassan 317 29.52 Mashraf Mortaza 269 32.65 Abdurrazzaq 207 29.29 Mustafiza Rahman 172 25.88 Rubal Hussain 129 34.31. ODI record versus other nations. As we enter this new phase, let's analyze 20 internationals from different angles and evaluate its significance. Highest team total v Sri Lanka, 10 March 2018 at Colombo. Highest individual score, 103. Tamim Iqbal v Oman, 13 March 2016 at Dharamsala. Best individual bowling figures, Mustafiza Rahman v United States, 25 May 2024 at Houston. Most T runs for Bangladesh. Player runs average career span Shakib Al-Hassan 25 51 23.19 Mohammadullah 23 94 23.7 Litton Dos 2020 22.44 Tamim Iqbal 1701 24.65 Mushfiq Rahim 1519.48. Most T wickets for Bangladesh. Player wickets average career span Shakib Al-Hassan 149 20.91 Mustafiza Rahman 128 21.32 Taskin Ahmed 82 23.28 Shuraful Islam 46 24.23 Mehdi Hassan 46 25.6. T record versus other nations. As we progress, let's shine a spotlight on as a team and examine its intricate interplay within our topic. Most consecutive test defeats, 21. Most consecutive test series defeats, 16. Most consecutive ODI defeats, 23. Most consecutive ODIs without victory, 47. Only third country to win their 100th match in tests, ODIs and ties. Only full member without any tied match in any format. Only test side to lose their first ODI. Played against 5 non-test sides: Canada 2003, Kenya 2003, Ireland 2007, Netherlands 2010 and Afghanistan 2014. The highest innings total in a losing cause, deck, versus New Zealand in 2017. The least time among all 10 test-playing countries to reach the landmark figure of playing 100 tests, 16 years and 12 days. First team to get 6 ducks in an innings in consecutive tests, and also the only team to achieve it more than once in Test cricket's history. First and third versus West Indies in 2002 and 2022 respectively, and second versus Sri Lanka. The first ever team to win 2 international matches in 2 different formats on the same day. Let's now zoom in on by Bangladeshi players and uncover the hidden gems that lie within. Only the third cricketer to score a century in their country's inaugural test, Aminul Islam in 2000 against India. Youngest cricketer to make a test century, Mohammed Ashraful 17 years and 61 days, 114 against Sri Lanka at Colombo on 8 September 2001. Youngest bowler to take a 10-wicket haul in tests, Enamul Haq Jr. 18 years 40 days against Zimbabwe in 2005. Leading wicket taker in ODIs in 2006, Mashraf Mortaza 49 wickets in 27 matches. Only the second Test cricketer in history to make a century at number 10 on debut, Abul Hassan on 21 November 2012 against the West Indies at Khama. The first cricketer ever to score a century and take a hat-trick in the same test match, Sahag Ghazi on 13 October 2013 against New Zealand at Chittagong. Only the third cricketer to score a century and get 10 wickets in a test match, Shakib Al Hasan in 2014. The first bowler in ODI history to claim a hat-trick on debut, Tajul Islam on 1 December 2014 against Zimbabwe. The first player in history to hold the number 1 positions in all 3 formats of cricket in the all-rounder category, Shakib Al Hasan on 12 January 2015. The first cricketer ever to take 11 wickets in his first 2 ODIs, Mustafizur Rahman and against India in June 2015 at Dhaka. The only players to get the man of the match in 2 formats of the international cricket as a debutant, Elias Sunny in Test vs West Indies in 2011 and T vs Ireland in 2012, and Mustafizur Rahman in ODI vs India and in Test vs South Africa both in 2015. The quickest and only third all-rounder to achieve the double of 10,000 runs and 500 wickets, Shakib Al Hasan on 7 June 2018 in the third tee against Afghanistan in 302 international matches. The first cricketer to take the double of 100 wickets and 1,000 runs in ties, Shakib Al Hasan in August 2021 against Australia. The first cricketer to take the double of 2,500 runs and 100 wickets in ties, Shakib Al Hasan in June 2024 against Netherlands in ICC World Cup 2024. Don't forget to check out my other videos for more valuable content.